No,
Let's go.
I'm not gonna sleep well tonight thinking about putting Andrew Luck with Kyler Murray. Jameis Winston, I love you. I'm not even disrespecting you. Who else are we? What's up, all you crash test dummies? Welcome to episode 4 of the Crashout cast.
Look,
How are we doing today?
lucky number 4. Happy to be here.
We've been doing this, Derek. Can you believe we've been doing this for a month?
That's crazy, bro. It doesn't feel that way. It feels so new, but at the same time, it's. I'm happy to keep this rolling, bro.
Yeah,
This is a good time.
Absolutely. So, of course, I'm your host, Captain Crashout, joined, as always, by Derek. And we have a new special guest today, Mr. Andy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing great. It was a good weekend. My Commanders won. Won one of my games in fantasy, lost another one. So, it's kind of overall pretty good, I guess.
That's a crazy call out, by the way.
Not bad.
That's crazy. Me and Andy played each other in the fantasy playoffs. He got me this year, but we're in the same division, so I'm excited to get you back next year. And
That's
shout out your teams real quick. So I know it's Washington.
So Commanders, NFL. I'm a Pitt Panther for college. So for basketball and football, I follow them. Although I am repping JMU because the rest of my family and my wife went to JMU. Actually headed to the playoff out in Oregon on Saturday. So it'll be awesome event. JMU travels pretty well.
Cool.
And just a lot of the online chatter has been, kind of like fun and joking and things like that. I don't think they really see JMU as a threat to what they're trying to do this season. So
I don't follow college too much. So is it like JMU is going to get killed? Do you think like there's a chance?
oh yeah. I mean, you figure, so in college you have all your divisions and things like that. So, but you have like basically 4 power conferences. Kind of your Big Ten. So your traditional like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, like all those big name brands. Oregon joined them with the collapse of the Pac-12 a couple years ago, along with USC. So it's a pretty stacked conference. And then you have JMU from the Sun Belt, which is like a southeastern, smaller regional type school. Obviously, most people who have not from Virginia don't even know where JMU is. And then, of course, Oregon's always been a kind of a powerhouse. They have huge Nike money behind everything they're doing. They have all kinds of crazy jerseys. Of course, the brand Nike was started at University of Oregon. So, pretty much they can afford all the players and all the everything on campus and all the facilities and things like that. So I'm excited to see what that's all about.
All right. I haven't even checked the college bracket, so I guess I'll check it while you guys are talking, and I'll tell you which team I'll root for this year. But I'll pull for JMU just for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. I'll take a look, but I think the closest one to me is like Texas A&M. But like I don't really have any loyalties to them, really.
I mean, Texas A&M is kind of a feel good story. I mean, obviously well funded, but they're not. They're like kind of like that second tier of college football, if I may say. No disrespect, but
Go ahead.
obviously like your Alabamas and Texas and your Michigan, Ohio State. Those are all your ones that are in the playoffs every single year. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I will say half of our views on this channel are rage baiting fans. So say whatever you want. It's totally fine.
Sure.
Derek, are you looking forward to college playoffs?
I mean, I'm some. It's hard to get. Obviously WVU, we're not in a bowl game. We ain't anything. We're just like my Titans. It's been hard not to crash out every week, but I watch college football as much as I make time for, but it's not something I prioritize, to be completely honest with you.
Well, that's all right.
College sports.
That's all right. This is primarily an NFL show, so we'll get back to the NFL. We'll get more back into college in a little bit because the Heisman did happen. I do want to talk about that. But this past NFL week, I feel like we had some just some things that they were begging us to talk about. I ain't gonna lie. So before I go and start yapping, what stood out to you two about the week the most?
I thought it was just an exciting week. I mean, there were a lot of games I actually watched more games than I normally do on a Sunday. I watched a little bit of the Thursday night game. That was fun. Atlanta, kind of getting an upset in there.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was just a good week of football. From a pretty much a neutral fan for most of the NFL. It was just a lot of fun games to watch.
And a lot of playoff implications this week, which was really interesting to follow. And then about the Atlanta game, do you guys think the Falcons and the Saints were like dapping each other up, just knocking off Tampa Bay and the Panthers, just for hilariously? Honestly, there's no reason they had to do that. Like, they're out the playoffs, but they just made it really hard for the Bucs and the Panthers to do anything. Someone has to make the playoffs from that division, but now it's so funny.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. Falcons beating Bucs makes a lot more sense than the Saints beating the Panthers.
I know that the Panthers were looking like they like beat the Rams like a week ago or last week, I can't remember, but like now you lose to the Saints.
The Panthers have had some times this season where you're like, okay, you're right there. You're starting to figure it out. And then you go and get beat by the Saints. And it's like, well hold up. Maybe you're not as far as long as you seem. Yeah. So it definitely makes that whole division really funny, the way that this past week went.
Yeah, somebody has to make it. And they're probably going to get killed immediately because they're going to be the 4 seed. So they're going to go up against the 5th seed. And the 5th seed is going to be either like the Niners or the Seahawks. So... yeah, it is what it is. Well,
it's also fun this time of year when you have like these divisional games. 3/4 of the division's already been eliminated in a lot of things, and it's just here to play spoiler, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's fun. What stood out to you, Derek?
As far as all games?
Yeah, just in general.
Man, let's talk about. Sheesh, there's a lot of good ones. Let's talk about the Eagles blowing out the Raiders. I think, especially on this cast, we've been going in on the Eagles fans. We've been enjoying their downfall here lately. And it's fun to see. It's fun to see that team kind of at least be competitive again, because they're too good of a team to really struggle the way that they were. But going and putting a bust down on Raiders that's good money. That's fun to see.
I have a question. If Geno Smith started, would they have scored like at least once?
Oh yeah.
At least once.
Okay.
I mean, the Eagles probably would have scored a couple more times off picks, but the Raiders would have at least got something.
I was hyping up Kenny Pickett out of pure like copium because like obviously the Cowboys are out of it now, but like before the week started, there was like a small chance. Kenny Pickett sucks. He's so bad.
Yeah.
He
learned how to do that in Pitt.
Yeah, he had a pretty good record against WVU though. So
unfortunately, he did.
Hey, but this is the NFL, man, and that was his last chance, right, to like really be a starter.
Yeah, I think he's. I mean, I kind of knew, as a Pitt fan, I got to watch him for 3 years, 3.5 years, I guess you could say. But he was just never he was never going to be like a full-time NFL starter. I mean, he could have a good 10-year career as a backup and filling every once a year, but he's so far from being a starter.
Yeah, he probably will.
I mean, hell, he Kenny Two Gloves can't even hold the football because his hands are small.
He probably will be one of those just like perennial backups, and he'll be in like 5 years he'll get a start, and you'll be like, oh, Kenny Pickett, like remember that guy?
You know how in bowling, like two-hand bowling's gotten really popular. I want to see Kenny just get there and eat it with
like
two hands, just like running above his head. That's what he needs to do with those little tiny little infant hands that he tries to
like a soccer throne or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did have a couple things I wanted to talk about, but the one thing we cannot continue anymore until we talk about Phillip Rivers, because the state of the Colts is like, it's not really their fault necessarily that they're this much of a dumpster fire, but they might be the worst situation in the NFL now. So
it's a problem.
Yeah,
So like,
I mean, I think there's a lot of teams that like need a quarterback. I guess you could say. They're certainly one of them.
I'll ask this question in a little bit, but like the process of losing your starting quarterback as a playoff team, it sucks, right? It's terrible. Most teams are doomed. They don't have a backup that is healthy, apparently, but also to then rest your season on 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played in 5 years, and just sending him out there after like 5 days of practice is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But we shouldn't be surprised because this is the same team that got Jeff Saturday off a high school team to be head coach randomly. So y'all remember that? Y'all remember that?
I remember that.
It's funny.
The times.
Like in September and whatnot, of course Irsay's daughter is now the controlling interest of the Colts. She got a lot of flowers earlier in the year. She was on the sideline with her headset and things like that, and she was getting a lot of praise for, of course, Phillip Rivers, or not Phillip Rivers, the other worthless quarterback, Daniel Jones. Had almost a career resurgence until that injury. So, but yeah, obviously it was all kind of like window dressing, and it was a house of cards. So
yeah, and now they're in a really hard situation because it's like Daniel Jones was working for them. So I'm of the opinion that if Daniel Jones stayed healthy, they should probably re-sign him because I'm not saying Daniel Jones is like great, but he works for their system. And a lot of the time there's franchise QBs and there's system QBs. And if you have a system QB that works, like, why not? But now that he tore, it was Achilles, right?
Yes, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was non-contact injury, which are always the worst.
He tore his Achilles, and he's a quarterback that has to be mobile to be effective. So like, now what do? You're not paying him, are you? But you don't have a first-round pick, so you're not getting a quarterback. So that's why I think their situation is so bad. Like, is their best chance like sending a 2 or a 3 for Kyler Murray? Like, realistically?
No.
I know, but like, what do you do if you're the Colts?
I mean, it'd be funny to see, I guess, but I mean, I think there's going to be. I mean, I don't think any of the quarterbacks this year coming out of college, kind of circling back. I don't think there's any, top, trading up. I have to have my QB coming out of college.
Yeah, and even if
there's going to be a couple of projects that kind of fall down.
Yeah,
including maybe even some of the Heisman candidates. So.
Something else I want to talk to is the Chiefs. Chiefs are dead, gone, out of the playoffs. We don't have to deal with them this year. And not only are the Chiefs dead, I will not clap for injuries, but not only are the Chiefs dead, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. And if we're being like realistic, let's say 10-month recovery, he's not starting until like October. So they're in a rough situation as well.
Yeah, and he's another one of those mobility quarterbacks. Even though he might be coming back in 10 months, it probably takes about a good season for people to really come back and trust that knee. I mean, especially the way he does things. Sharp cuts, quick movements. That's got to be in the back of his mind.
Yeah. So are you looking for like Jameis Winston as like a stopgap before Mahomes comes back to maybe make the playoffs next year? What do you guys think?
I think Jameis Winston should be the all-time quarterback for the entire league.
Yeah.
Kind of like whenever your first and second string goes down, it should just be Jameis Winston coming in just for the vibes.
A 32 team contract that like we can just send him wherever. And like he's one of those dudes like he'd play on like 3 days notice just because.
Oh, well, he came in for Jackson Dart when he got hurt and looked absolutely miserable. It was a complete disaster. But I think that the entire stadium was like hyped for like 30 seconds, and then they're like, "Oh, fuck you guys, get this guy off the field."
What do you think, Derek?
It was hilarious.
What do you think about the Chiefs situation? Do you think they're a playoff team next year?
It's hard to say. That team's had a good several years at this point, and I think just like all good franchises like that, the team gets a little older. Some of those pieces are starting to wind down. They don't really have, outside of Rice now and again, Worthy now and again. They don't really have what I consider a true wide receiver one that they can rely on weekly. Their running back situation is a kind of suspect at times. So I think that we were starting to see. I think we were starting to see the decline of KC to begin with. And then these injuries are only going to make that harder. I would not be surprised to see Kelsey go ahead and hang it up. I don't see why he would hang around at this point, especially with Mahomes being out most of next season.
No, Mahomes could have been like a deal breaker for him to stay, but like, I wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who had Kelsey on his fantasy squad, I watched a few of his games, and he's just not the same.
Hey,
obviously,
you're welcome. By the way,
obviously he's lost a step. I mean, and that not only just like his maneuverability, but just he dropped passes that I'm like, are you serious?
It's very uncharacteristic. Like the one in the Texans game where he kind of like caught it weird, but then he bobbled it, and then Aziz Aishayu was like right behind him, caught it. Like I was like, he's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
Then you don't have to worry about money anymore.
Getting old too. Their defense is starting to age.
The defense is getting old, and then like they've been losing pieces like every year, like kind of under the radar.
Yeah.
And like how old is Chris Jones now? I'll find out. But like he's not in his prime anymore. He's still very good, but he's not like a game wrecker like he once was. Like a solo game wrecker. I mean, he's still very good.
Right.
Chris Jones.
Well, who even knows how much longer Andy Reid's going to stick around?
That's a good point. He'll be 32 by the start of the next season.
Yeah, so he's getting pretty much
almost done. And not only that, like the division got good. Like the Broncos are kind of not because of Bo Nix, but scary good because of their defense. And then I actually think the Chargers are way better than they're playing right now because they have no offensive line.
Yeah, I think the Chargers have been kind of a surprise. That's always one of those teams that kind of flies under the radar.
Yeah.
They're just
go ahead.
Yeah, they're Justin Herbert's a solid veteran quarterback at this point in time. I mean, he has some stinker games, but they've got a pretty solid foundation of just kind of blue collar guys on that squad.
Yeah. And they have
which is kind of cool to see.
They have a really good tackle duo. It's just hurt right now, and then they didn't even have Hampton for most of the year. So like, I'm just saying next year they're probably going to look better than this year. So next year when we do like team rankings, like they're above the Chiefs. The Broncos are above the Chiefs until we see the Chiefs come back, I guess.
The Raiders are not.
Oh no, the Raiders are going to stay in the basement. They can be. The Raiders are. Man, Derek, this is on us because we thought Geno had one more year.
Well, I'll take that. I saw Geno be amazing for a long time, and I remember that's several years after that.
Nah,
Geno's different now.
I took Geno in a couple leagues because I was like, he's going to be a sleeper quarterback. I'll get him late and be okay. I was wrong.
He's a long way from Morgantown.
He is.
Another talking point.
He definitely is.
That's funny. Another talking point I wanted to get to is are the Packers like they're no longer Super Bowl contender, right?
I'll tell you what, I don't quite understand where that mindset comes from. It's not like Mike has been there for years and years. It's not like they sold the house to get him there. Like, it's still a really good team despite Michael Parsons.
Yeah. Well, I guess, does this cap their playoff ceiling?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like, I personally like Jordan Love. I think he's a solid guy and a solid quarterback. He has some of those games where he's like 10 for 15 for 150 yards. But that's just they've kind of course, kind of like stuck in the mud. And Micah Parsons didn't really have an insane year like he did have in Dallas for the last couple of years. So it's like he like
towards the end.
Yeah, he had a couple good games, but he was kind of a shell of what he was down in Dallas. But they're they're a wild card team.
Okay.
If they get the wild card weekends, win or lose, I think that's a good season for them. I think they're still a few pieces away. With Matthew Golden, who was like their highly regarded receiver, did absolutely nothing this year.
Yeah, if we were making content before the season, I was pretty low on Golden, personally.
And then Christian Watson was hurt for
And he's hurt
a
again,
few
bro.
weeks.
He's hurt
Hurt again, yeah.
He's like,
And honestly, I think that is truly Green Bay's issue. I think any of Jordan Love's problems, any of that team's success issues, really comes from the fact that they have, in my opinion, one of the best wide receiver cores in the entire league. It's just that someone's always hurt, so there's no continuity, there's no consistency. It's always a different three guys out there.
yeah.
So I think that's part of the issue, is that Love really is always thrown to different dudes. He doesn't have that time and that ability due to injury to ever really build that rapport with somebody.
It's funny you say that. Okay, help me out here. So Romeo Dobbs concussions, like at least once a season. Jaden Reed didn't even start the season. He just came back. And then Christian Watson is basically like if Traylon Burks was like a little better, if we're being honest. Like he's always hurt.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly,
That's funny.
The problem is
That's disrespectful to call him Traylon Burks. Just saying.
the funniest
That's
part is
tragic.
like, I think Christian Watson is actually very good at football. He's just not there. And it's something different every time. Like, it was a chest injury this time, and before it was a shoulder injury. It's like, it's not the same nagging injury. It's just something else, something different every time.
He's just soft.
I think he could be like one of those guys that like just goes to like a different team and just has like gets traded to, I don't know, Jacksonville or something like that, and just has a crazy like MVP type season or at least whatever the awards
He's
for top all pro.
I believe he's
type
on
season.
The last year of a deal because they re-signed him to a 1-year deal. So I believe they have to make a decision on him. It'll be interesting to see. My biggest concern is like Micah Parsons was their pass rush. Like Rashawn Gary has been a ghost for the last like 6 weeks. Rashawn Gary hasn't had a sack in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
That's why he's on my bench.
Facts. And they already lost Devontae Wyatt, who's a very good D tackle. And then before the season, they sent the Cowboys Kenny Clark, so that was their other good D tackle. So it's gonna be like Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, and someone in the middle now.
Luckily, they have good linebackers to make up for that.
The
fact that they're going to get to the second level.
Edgerrin Cooper is fun to watch. I'm a big fan.
Oh,
and
Cooper,
old Fish Eyes.
Walker.
What's Fish Eyes' name? The
Quay Walker?
Yeah, the one that looked like the shark.
Oh, shark bait?
Yeah.
Talk about Hammerhead? Sheesh.
Quay Walker is like if Kenneth Murray.
That's what makes him so good. He sees both sidelines. He sees sideline to sideline looking straight ahead.
That's why
crazy.
Sometimes he doesn't fit the run well because he's looking like this. So the middle isn't great, but side to side, he's crazy.
You run right at him, he misses you.
All right, what else do you guys want to talk about the week?
Man, let's talk about. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andy. What you got?
No. You got something teed up.
I got a good one, man. I really, really, really want to talk about the Bills versus the Patriots.
Hey, let's get to it. Hey, we'll fast forward a little bit in my notes. Game of the week. Let's do it.
I mean, I'll go ahead and speak for it. I think that is the game of the week. I think it at least should be in the consideration. There's a couple options. Truly, wouldn't be mad at if y'all have different choices. But for me, I thought Patriots had that game in the bag. I think it was 28-3 going into half, and then they never scored again or something like that.
It was 21-0 at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they ended the game 31-35, so they scored a few more points, and that's it. I mean, the Bills came out that second half a whole different team, and J.A. I think he's going to make a push without Patty and some of these other boys in the playoffs.
This is his
I think this might be J.A.'s chance. This is his
chance. And it's funny you mentioned this. So, like, I have a different fantasy group where I'm kind of like the knowledgeable person. So a lot of people like message me throughout the week, like asking random questions. It's the Zoomer group, if you guys are wondering. So one of my boys texted me, and I wasn't watching that game because I was watching. I think maybe I was watching 49ers Titans or something. And he texted me and he said, "Hey, bro, are the Bills dead? Are they frauds?" And I looked at his message, And I was like, I don't know. I can't really tell. I'm not watching the game. And then I checked the score, and I'm like, yikes. I checked again in like an hour, Bills win. I was like, yo, let's go. That's fire. In a must win game for the Bills, because if they got swept by the Patriots, their seeding tanks.
I mean, you think the NFL is going to let J.A. not make the playoffs after they killed Patty?
Oh, he would.
They killed Patty also. This is his chance.
I mean, he would have made the playoffs, but he would have been a wild card. Now they're only one game back from the division.
Yeah. I think it makes the whole division crazy. It does.
Bills should, if there ever, like I think you guys said, if there ever was a chance for J.A. to have like the path cleared for him, the road is shoveled. I guess you could say. I'm going to assume Baltimore probably misses the playoffs if the Steelers can hold on. So, none of his, nemesis quarterbacks are in front of him. So,
I mean, let's talk about the AFC. So, like, the big juggernauts in the AFC are the Patriots, who the Bills just beat. We know they can. The Broncos, ew, and then. I guess the Chargers, but like I think the Chargers are doing the most they can, but like that O-line is gonna fall apart in the playoffs.
No love for Jacksonville.
Ask Derek.
You mean led by sunshine? You mean by a mark of a quarterback?
I'm all about
that whack game because he'll never do that again. Him and Kyle Pitts both had performances they will never have again.
I mean, I'm not out. I'm not out on the Jags. I just don't think they're on the Bills level.
That's how I feel about the Jags. Fuck the Jags. That's how I feel about it.
I'm just here for the my team has been out of it for a long time. I like an underdog at this point in the season.
Yeah.
I've always liked Trevor Lawrence. He's had kind of he's kind of had a rough go of it in the NFL after being so dominant in college. That's it's something different. It's kind of one of those years that we're probably going to see something different in the Super Bowl. Thank God it's not going to be the fucking Eagles and Chiefs again.
Disgusting. Actually, Derek, I don't know if you look at our comment section, but we have a Trevor Lawrence truther in the comments, like probably every other video.
Oh my man.
We have a what?
We have a Trevor Lawrence truther in the comments, like every other video.
Sheesh.
That's hilarious.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you got to check it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun because like the AFC is wide open, but like low key outside of the Rams, like the NFC feels pretty wide open as well.
I mean, even the Rams have shown the propensity to get beat sometimes. I mean, they just had a tough game where they had to fight back this past week. Yeah. So, I mean, the Rams, although I do think they are definitely, for me, the clear-cut NFC favorite. I mean, again, we have seen them get beat by the Panthers. We have seen them struggle against a couple other teams and have to fight their way back. So it makes them vulnerable.
It's going to be a really fun playoffs. I mean, none of our teams are there, but, we'll have fun anyway. It's okay.
I want to see Seattle.
I would not mind.
Make a deep run.
I would not mind Seattle.
That's another team that's kind of like, post Pete Carroll era has just been kind of just floating along out there. No one's really talking about it. I mean, of course, JSN is dominant this year. Yeah. But, they have, of course, Sam Darnold, the quarterback, who's been, played. He's probably played for half the league so far. So it's they'd be the kind of a cool team to see come out of the FC.
I like watching defensive football, and they are so fun to watch on defense. Like when I did my draft analysis, like I had a couple guys that like I fell in love with, and the safety Nick, you guys got to help me with his name, Nick Inwari or something.
Inwari or whatever.
Yeah, that dude is cold. I love watching him play football. Him and then
they have some really good beasts.
Yeah, and then a couple years ago, you know this, Derek. Devin Witherspoon is my fucking guy.
Yep.
And they have DeMarcus Lawrence, longtime Cowboy. Like, I'm a big fan of that defense. Mike McDonald is a genius.
Who's having kind of a crazy resurgence, honestly. D. Lawrence is having a crazy year there.
I mean, the thing with D-Law is, like, he didn't fall off. Like, he was always good. The sack numbers just kind of went down. But, like, now that there's so many beasts on that defense, like, they're coming back up.
Yeah.
But, like, if
the biggest issue with them is it's a good thing that you like defense because Sam Darnold's going to go ghost mode in the playoffs like he always does.
Yeah.
So they're going to need that defense. That's the only way that team's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to see a Cooper Cup resurgence. Just have him, he's kind of been nowhere this season. I'd love to see him just like get into the first round of the playoffs.
But would it be crazy?
And put up like 200 yards and 3 scores or something like that. Ridiculous.
No, I don't know about that, but would it be crazy if like he got to the playoffs and just like went nuclear? That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean they got a pretty solid they got a pretty solid core team.
Yeah,
so
they're a fun one to watch. Actually, Derek, I had a question specifically for you.
All right.
Titans 49ers, was that Cam Ward's best game so far?
No, I think his best game was actually against Seattle personally.
Okay.
But he looked pretty good that game. There was more moments in this game where he started to show where he figured it out. Some of those ropes he was throwing were insane. A couple, the one where he hit DK right in the fucking hands and he just dropped it is unacceptable. But that pass itself was beautiful.
Yeah, he dropped.
But as a full game collective, I think this was the second best performance that we saw.
But do you like the progression you're seeing out of Cam Ward specifically?
Yeah, realistically, I would love to see Cam Ward have come out and been a Jaden Daniels. I would have loved to see him come out and have some of these crazy seasons we've seen some of these rooks do. But realistically, the line has been very mid all season. The team is just really doesn't have anyone to throw at. It's the realistic expectations. He's doing what he can with what he's got, and I'm happy with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a lot of fun watching. I mean, I was mainly watching that game for fantasy purposes, but then I was like, oh, I get to see Cam Ward again, like because I was a Cam Ward guy as well in the draft process.
Yeah.
I was really a big fan of Cam, so it's good to see him. Like one of my favorite sayings, he's basically making biscuits out of rocks right now.
Yeah, and try not to break his teeth.
And then Andy, I got a question for you. I wrote down.
Sure.
Are you glad that they iced Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season as a Washington fan?
Hard to say, Obviously, he's still young. He played. I mean, the games he did play. McLaurin wasn't there. Just kind of a waste of a season. So I understand why they shut him down. I'd rather have him come back. Have a solid off season. Get right. Get healthy. Get all his mobility back. Hopefully he spends some time in that simulator thing he has because he was definitely not seeing the field this year. So, probably a little bit of a little mental fatigue too. That it's just been a pretty crappy season all around here in DC. So, yeah, I'd say if I had to make put me on a spot, just let Mariota finish the season. Maybe spoil a couple of games here and there. Hopefully, secure a good draft pick. Or some draft capital where we can trade down or whatever they end up planning on doing. But yeah, just go and shut them down and let them come back next year. Unfortunately, I still think he's not on the RG3 career trajectory. He's definitely smarter than what RG3 was playing the game itself. But yeah, he was a shell of himself from last year. Like all his like raw instincts were just like disappeared, making bad passes, not running out of bounds. I'm like, yo, you're like $160 on a good day. You don't need to be playing like Jackson Dart or anything like that. Head out of bounds or learn how to freaking slide, man. Come on.
I'm gonna do a lot of like off-season content about like teams specifically, but one of my main like notes on Washington isn't necessarily Jaden Daniels. It's I don't like your OC, and I think this happens every time he gets a chance where it's like year one, like what's his name, Kingsbury, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like year one, you're like, oh my god, this dude is amazing. He's so innovative, and then year two happens, and everyone figures him out, and he just can't keep up. And I think that's kind of what we saw a little bit. Even though
I think a lot of offensive coordinators kind of fall into that trap, though.
Yeah.
They have I think Jaden Daniels just made plays last year that made Cliff look better than what he is.
Yeah.
Hell, we were insane on fourth down, like 87% on fourth down, which is unheard of in NFL history, which covered a lot of what Cliff Screensbury calls up. So it's people are like, oh, he's gonna get another head coaching job. I'm like, I don't see it. I mean, he's kind of failed everywhere he's been. So
I hope he goes to the Giants. Actually, that'd be great.
Or who knows? Maybe a college program. That's probably where he should go back to. But I think the fans are done with him. Everything I see on like all the comment boards and things like that, it's just like what the fuck is he doing? The plays he's calling, and it's just in the people do like the whole they're like breaking down the route trees of the receivers, and it looks like backyard football where they just run 5 yards and just kind of stop, or guys running into each other. Or there's a couple of times where like even this past week where receivers were literally like running into like double and triple coverage. I'm like, all right, that they always it's like looking at like your little brother's controller, like playing fucking Madden or something. Like you like know what he's calling, which is I'm personally I'm done with Kingsbury.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most people are. So we went over. Go ahead.
I will say, just as kind of a footnote, I think Dan Quinn should probably stay. I think he's that CEO coach. Obviously, he needs some coordinators. He needs a new D coordinator too, but because he took over those playing calling responsibilities. But I think if he can get some coordinators in place, the Commanders could be a pretty lethal team. But yet to be seen.
Hey, please keep Dan Quinn. I support this. I am not a Dan Quinn fan, but hey, if I'm proven wrong, I do like to come on this show and sign my little apology form. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want him calling plays, but give me a CEO vibes head coach. I don't want him running either side of the ball. So hopefully we can get some a new offensive and defensive coordinator. Maybe in a few weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Anything else that stood out to you about the week, Derek?
The Vikings and Cowboys game was kind of whack.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah, so I had my mini crash out about that, which is on YouTube if you guys are bored. What really sucks about that game is we were not out of the playoffs. Now we are. Realistically.
Right.
Realistically. And it's like, did you guys know that the Cowboys on I'd say what do we call that offensive performance? B-? Like the run game was good, the pass game was decent, just not a lot of touchdowns. What do we call it? A B-? We put up the fourth most points the Vikings have allowed all season, and we still can't win. Because that Vikings defense is good. They have a good defense. But it's it was so whack. When Brandon Aubrey missed the first kick, I was like, we might be cooked. Because the first one he missed, well, the first one he missed was a long kick, but you expect him to make that, and then he missed another one. We're like, oh.
It's been one of them days.
Yeah, at home, indoors, and then we just let JJ McCarthy kind of do whatever. I was like, okay, bro.
That is surprisingly familiar, letting JJ McCarthy do whatever.
And then Quentin Williams got taken out the game with a concussion in the third quarter, and after that, it was there's nothing on defense.
Yeah.
What do you feel about George Pickens? he's he obviously he's had a reputation coming out of Pittsburgh, right? And they kind of just let him walk. He's had some awesome games and he's looked unstoppable, but
I mean, here's the thing, right? You can't double CD and Pickens at the same time. One of them is going to go crazy. But with the Vikings game specifically, like the defense just played really, really well against the offense. I think Shoddy was like out play called, like genuinely. But the thing that's with George Pickens is like he's a gravity player now, so like there are games where his stats aren't going to be crazy, but like Ryan Flanoy has kind of come out of nowhere because nobody's paying attention to him on offense because they have to cover CD and Pickens. So it's like, I'm a fan. I hope we re-sign him. I just think he's started to earn the respect of defenses. So like maybe every game he isn't going crazy, but like he's opening it up for everyone else.
Yeah, it's kind of what I
think that. I'm sorry, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of what I saw. You know, there's a couple of games where he's looked absolutely just like he's jogging and just like slicing right through the defenses, and then he disappears.
I think like
which
the Lions game, I think he played like pretty bad. I think the Vikings game he played fine. The defense was just sitting on all of his routes. But then CD got a lot of one-on-one, and CD had a great game. So it's like, you know, you're gonna pick one to stop. Right now they're picking Pickens, and CD's gonna go crazy. Then you're gonna pick CD's to stop, and then Pickens is gonna go crazy. So it's like it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah. Well, then also, you know, during halftime, Shadi had mentioned that the Vikings were doing a lot of high pressure looks.
Yeah.
So obviously that was in their game plan. Which obviously, if you don't want to let receivers go crazy, make that quarterback throw it as quick as possible. So I think that definitely factored into some of his ineffectiveness, and I'm sure a lot of teams take that approach. I'm sure Minnesota isn't the first one to think that way.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole Vikings defense MO is like. I love Brian Flores' defense. They're so fun to watch. Like he had like Harrison Smith like from the free safety position come down and blitz off the side and then drop a D end into coverage. Like who does that? So like yeah, Pickens didn't have his best game, but like. What do you do against that? You throw the check down or you try to bomb it, you know. It is what it is. Regardless, we still put up 36 or 26, which should have been like 31 with the field goals. So it's like, you know. The main issues are the defense. That's a next year problem, but for now, just pay Pickens and keep it moving.
Do you think JJ McCarthy is going to be the future of the Vikings?
I think he's shown enough that they're going to give him another year, but I think they should bring in a veteran backup that like a serviceable backup. Like my answer is like Jameis Winston all the time, but even like Marcus Mariota, if he's a free agent, just somebody.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, just somebody, you know. All right.
I love how much Washington fans love Mariota. As a Titans fan, that makes me so happy. Is not the word. It's a weird feeling.
You're like
it's a weird feeling to watch y'all so love that cat. No, I'm not proud of him. No, I'm not proud of him at all. That guy can fuck off. He is terrible for us. It's just funny to watch any franchise have to put their hope or at least any kind of love into it because I've been there.
Did you guys?
I mean, he's
like,
not a great.
It's like watching
he's
someone
not a great,
date your ex.
He's not a great quarterback, but you know, he's I don't know.
You're like, we had some good times, but she's a bitch.
He's a phenomenal backup, in my opinion. Phenomenal backup.
Hey, listen. Did you guys watch? Did you guys watch season 1 of Quarterback on Netflix?
Yeah, I thought that guy needed. I didn't think he was okay.
That was so sad to watch. It was like
he was sad. Yeah.
First off, why did they pick Marcus Mariota? First off, they did him dirty by picking him, but like watching him like lose his starting job, that was so sad to watch. That's hard. I was like, and like the thing is like it comes out after the season. You already know what happens, so you know what's coming. Aye. All right, Andy, this is your time to shine.
All right, I'm ready.
I want to hear your thoughts on the recent Heisman voting, and then I got a little sneak peek. We will then transition into Crashout of the Week. So,
well, I won't give I'll give a little bit of spoiler, but it is definitely from the Heisman race. Uh, my thoughts on just the college football season was, we've been kind of blessed with it seems like every year there's just a couple guys. Last year, Ashton Genty was just insane. Debatable whether he could have won or not. I think he probably should have. And then Jaden Daniels beforehand, Caleb Williams, even Bryce Young is as hard as that is to imagine. But and then Travis Hunter was just you have all these amazing just playmakers who are just lighting up Sports Center every Sunday and Monday morning with top 10 plays and things like that. Didn't really get a lot of that this year. I was kind of saying beforehand that kind of Arch Manning kind of took most of the wind out of the preseason. That kind of like that August, September. Hey, he's kind of the heir apparent in the college football world, Heisman favorite. And it came out and just did fucking jack shit. He eventually kind of turned it around, but by that point, it was there was a couple feel good stories. Obviously, the number one seed now, and with Indiana and what they've been able to do. The worst Power 4, Power 5 team in history is now the number one seed. Won the Big Ten. Knocked off Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Sayan was one of the top Heisman candidates, but just none of the candidates were like super sexy this year, which is kind of odd. Kind of halfway through the season, I was like, well, who's going to win the Heisman? Because no one's really kind of stepping up. But so, spoiler alert. Fernando Mendoza did win the Heisman. He was kind of the quarterback of the best team, and I guess that's like the best thing I can say. He had a good season, but when you look at like the numbers and whatnot, it was kind of between him and maybe Diego Pava and Vanderbilt, which is kind of a spoiler alert for Crashout of the Week. But it ended up being that Mendoza won with the largest. It was pretty much a landslide, 84% or something like that of all the votes, which was the most in like 5 years. But when you look at that, kind of going back to it, you went and had a couple, 2 years ago when Jaden Daniels, my boy, JD5 came out, had his Heisman season. Dude had 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards combined running and passing. He was on an LSU team that was 10-2. They didn't really go that far, but just an amazing season. And I think Fernando Mendoza had like 2,900 yards and like 30 touchdowns. So it's kind of pedestrian when you look at like some of the Heisman performances, but it was. I think it's been a fun season so far. There's been a lot of shakeup. Some of the top blue chip teams kind of lost their quarterback. Penn State, Virginia Tech. Not that they're really blue chip, but they're kind of a well-known program. Florida, LSU. There's just been a lot of head coach turnover, which has kind of caused a lot of chatter of coaches going some places. Lane Kiffin was a huge story for about a month. Ended up going to LSU after kind of screwing over Ole Miss, who has a game on Saturday, but he just kind of he's like, fuck these guys, I'm out. Good luck. I mean, it'd be kind of awesome if they won the championship, just as a fuck you to Lane Kiffin, who's probably going to crash out. Give him 3 years, and he'll be out of LSU. That'll be something to kind of watch, and I'll outbask in that as a designated Lane Kiffin hater. But it was a fun college football season. This weekend starting the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see, because I don't think there's really there's favorites according to Vegas, but I think there's probably any one of maybe 3 or 4 teams, depending on that any given Saturday, what could happen. But it's the Heisman race, I think, was kind of boring this year. I don't think there were too many exciting players.
Do you think Fernando should have won?
Yeah, I think so. He's as far as like feel good stories and things like that, obviously he's like super down to earth. Kind of he was a transfer from California, which is not a huge football school, to Indiana. To, like I said, they're kind of like the Cinderella uh, um, team. JMU's coach Signetti went there 2 years ago. Immediately had an impact. They went to the playoffs with their first year, and now they're the number one seed. But yeah, so best player, or it's probably best player on the best team, kind of just by default. I think he probably should have won.
Okay, I have a question. So like for the NFL, like the MVP is normally like the best quarterback on the best team, or not even necessarily the best quarterback, but like a good quarterback on like the best team. Is that kind of how the Heisman is a lot of the time?
Well, a lot of times the Heisman is, like also like last year it was Travis Hunter, who Colorado was what they were. I think the 8-win team or something like that last year, 7-win team. Who knows? Maybe 6-win team. I completely forgot. But a two-way player. Just super special. Back from my high school days. Charles Woodson, who was a two-way player, kick returner, defensive back, played a little receiver. College, the college game is more of just like who has like the largest impact on a team that's probably had some success. So you'll see some defensive players there. It still has a lot of quarterbacks. Of course, they get all the NIL money. They get all the love on national media. They're kind of of course they're always the face of the program. But there's room for running backs and defensive players, and Devonta Smith. I think 2020 was had a freak season down at Alabama. So it is kind of a little more up in the air in the college game. It truly is, who's kind of like that freak athlete who just like puts together a season and is like truly like the best player. So it's not always a quarterback.
That's cool. That's cool that there's some variety in it. Derek, you got any thoughts on the Heisman this year?
Well, I think 80 hit the nail on the head. Mendoza is definitely the clear cut winner. As far as the talent pool goes, I'm always a big fan of running backs. I do like Jeremiah Love a lot. I don't say he's deserving of the Heisman in this situation, but I am excited to see him go to the next level. I think that he committed actually today or yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually, as a Titans fan, I would love to have him on my squad. I think he would fit the bill awesome.
Have a 2-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Bye. Going into Andy's point, though, the interesting guy to me, not that he got a lot of love, but Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas, going to linebacker defensive side when he versed Tennessee, when he versed West Virginia, I'm pretty sure he played a couple snaps on offense, or he did that periodically throughout the season too. So he just had a crazy season, and actually got twice as many first-round picks as Julian Sayer did. But the second Mendoza beat Ohio State for the Big Ten championship, he pretty much locked up his spot for the Heisman.
Interesting. So I don't watch college, but my draft analyst is going to get started here pretty soon. But from what I've seen from Fernando is like maybe he doesn't have like the counting stats in college that like some dudes have, but he seems like very pro ready to me. Does that kind of check out?
There's been a lot of Heisman winners that have crashed out pretty early in their careers, or just it's hard to say nowadays. I mean, surefire, Heisman winners. I mean, Travis Hunter didn't really do shit for half the season, so.
He died.
Yeah, it's I think it takes a couple of years, but there's I think certain programs are better at developing NFL talent. I mean, if there's a LSU or Ohio State receiver on the board,
Just
take them.
Draft him round 1 in fantasy.
It doesn't matter who it is. If he's available in the first 2 rounds, take him because he's probably going to be a stud. So I think there are just programs that do tend to get their players better NFL ready than other programs.
And,
on the flip side, though, it really does matter on the system and the team that they go to at the same time. Like, like you mentioned, we've seen a lot of highly rated, talent coming out of college that just did not go to the right situation, didn't go to the right team at the right time, and their careers suffered for it. Doesn't make them a bad player; it just makes their situation just not favorable.
Do you have an
Jets,
example,
Raiders, Miami?
Off the top of your head, of like a player, Derek?
What was that?
Do you have like a example of a player of that situation?
I mean, my troll pick, I always want to say Tim Tebow, but he was just not a good quarterback to begin with in pros. But no, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. It's just there's definitely guys where you're like, this is the guy. And then he goes to the pros and he's not the guy, Jamarcus Russell. And, it's crazy.
Baker Mayfield, I think, is probably one of them.
Interesting.
Drafted by Cleveland, which is another one of those black holes of the NFL. Had somewhat of a career resurgence, and he floated around for a while, but kind of found a home in Tampa. So
yeah, that makes sense. I know you've been waiting for Crash Out of the Week, Andy. So let's get into Crash Out of the Week. Derek, do you have one for me?
I kind of tipped on it earlier. I'm going with KC fans. It's been a long time since they did not see that team in the playoffs, and I have a feeling they are not doing well. 3 straight losses, losing 5 out of the last 6. The writing's been on the wall. But to see it happen in real life, to see it happen in person, or not in person, but to see it happen in real time, I have a feeling KC fans are really struggling this week.
And I'll go next because mine is also KC related. Chris Jones stood up in the media and didn't know that it was an elimination game. Which, is that not if you're a coach, are you not using that as motivation? We got to go in this game. We got to win. We're not at the playoffs. Let's make it happen. And Chris Jones really stood up there and said, "Oh, we're at the playoffs. Oh, okay."
He also looked like someone told him his dog died just after that. You just didn't
why?
hear
Because
it.
he knew it was an elimination game. He just didn't want to look dumb. Crash out.
Well, Andy Reid gets motivated by cheeseburgers, so. They were worried about with the playoff implications.
Did y'all see a couple weeks ago when he was like, "We're gonna tickle our opponent's tonsils" or something?
What?
Pause.
Hey,
who said that?
Andy Reid.
Yeah, that guy needs to retire. He's done.
When I saw that, I said, "We're good. They're not making the playoffs." I'll also
tickle their tonsils.
I'll also say I will be making a video on the Chiefs at some point, so subscribe. But I do think they need to reinvent the offense. I think Andy Reid has hit the wall a lot of offensive guys hit, and it's just you're outdated, and he needs to either revamp or he needs to retire.
The whole team just needs to turn over at this point. Like I said, I think their legacy, I think that version of the Chiefs is done, and they need to start working on the reboot.
They had a longer run than most, so I think their fans need to sit the fuck down, go put on the new Taylor Swift album. Okay, paint your nails and just chill. Just be mid for a little bit. We all go through it. Just stop. You're not special.
Come on,
I know you have that Patriots jersey in your closet from the last bandwagon you hopped on. So go ahead and bust that out and stop bitching.
Speaking of, there's about to be a lot of Patriots jerseys back on.
I know. All of a sudden they're out the woodwork. All right, Andy, take it away with your Crash Out of the week.
All right, I kind of hinted to it earlier, but Diego Pavia came second in the Heisman. Apparently got drunk, went out to the club, got in his feelings all over social media. F the Heisman voters. There was a picture of him getting bottle service, and it said "fuck Indiana." I'm like, what a clown. I mean, him and his brothers were all clowns anyways. But he's probably updating his LinkedIn right now. He ain't going to the fucking league for anything. I might buy a car or something off him in a couple of years when it's time. But the guy's a complete clown. I know, kids are young and they say dumb shit all the time, and of course now social media is just there. But I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah,
Come
he
on.
got less first round votes than Mendoza got second round votes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And he just looks like a douchebag.
You guys, you know what
He
he sounds
does.
like to me? He sounds like the next Raiders quarterback. What y'all think?
Oh,
I'm down
would,
for it.
I would support that. I think Raiders should trade up
Probably.
Trade
If
up
that's
from
even-
pick 6
if-
to
if-
pick 4.
if it's even possible. Trade up.
Get your
Trade
mans.
trade a pick and Brock Bowers, and maybe throw Ashton Genty in there.
Just to get your mans. That's
That
crazy.
that dude would
So-
look good in silver and black.
So like Vanderbilt and Indiana, they don't have anything to do with each other, right?
Nope.
So that bottle service that said "fuck Indiana," that's strictly to Fernando. Why I assume?
I guess. Who knows? He's just a salty bitch.
Yeah.
They were probably rags deep. And bottle service.
Who goes out when you lose though? Like, what are you doing?
He had all his boys in town. Like, I think he had like his brothers, and like he brought his whole O line there. So they probably just went out. Hey, it's I don't even know where
If my football team loses and I'm on the team, I'm going home. I'm
go back to the hotel.
I'm going to the hotel and I'm getting either in the weight room or I'm watching film. Like, I'm not doing when my flag football team kept losing, I didn't want to do anything all day, dude. I just want to go home.
Well, maybe you can be the next Raiders quarterback.
Hey, listen, put me in coach. I guarantee I will throw one less interception than Geno Smith a game. Guaranteed. I'll just chuck it to Brock Bowers every play. I don't even know y'all receivers' names. Just Brock Bowers.
That's because they don't have any receivers. That's Brock Bowers is it.
What you mean? They got
Don't say Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker season is not a thing. Don't fucking say that.
I pick him up.
You're supposed to let me say it first.
No, do not say Trey Tucker. That's not.
I had a whole bit planned. I was gonna like go away and come back and be like Trey Tucker season. Oh man,
I got another crash out for us though. Now that I think about it,
Go ahead.
is my man Burrow? Does he not like football anymore? That interview did not look good. He looked like Andrew Luck next coming.
I think they have 1 more year of Burrow, and if something doesn't get like going, he's gonna start demanding trades.
My thing is that guy didn't even act like he wanted to play the game anymore.
No.
Saying stuff like, "If I ain't having fun, what's the point of even doing it?" Like, that sounds a lot like Andrew Luck. That sounds a lot like a guy that just does not.
They lucky his boy Jamar Chase on the team, because that might be the only reason he comes back next year.
I mean, he is forced to live and play in Cincinnati, which has got to be pretty fucking depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much. What's that? Skyline Chili? Is that what they're known for? There's only so much of that shit you can eat.
Yeah.
Dude,
Other than that, there's nothing
Skyline
about
Chili,
City Cincinnati.
chili on top of spaghetti with
And
not hot cheese on it. Like, fuck out of here. That shit's disgusting.
And it's like, that's Joe Burrow. He doesn't need to keep playing. He's set financially, even if he retires right now.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. He's cool.
Yeah.
that and he's had some crazy injuries that he's had to work back from.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot that
injury
goes
prone,
into
we can
that
say it.
decision. He's injury prone, but also he's been on a team that has shown over his entire time with him that they don't give a fuck about protecting him.
And like,
Get out there and sling the rocks, what they told him.
and like their recent draft investments have not gone well. Like, it's been like Shamar Stewart, who I don't think should have been taken in the first round personally. Before that, it was like, what's the D tackle's name? Like, I gotta look it up. He's done nothing like all his career. It's just like they've been drafting bad, and they don't spend money. They don't go out and get him players he can work with.
No, they're cheap as shit.
Miles Murphy.
Yes.
Miles Murphy is who I was talking about. He hasn't done a lick. They're in a bad spot.
It's bad. Follow-up question to that: Where would his best fit be in your opinion?
So Fit,
Like
okay.
realistic too.
Are we talking like who could realistically get him, or like who?
Yeah,
would be the best one?
realistically.
Realistically,
No, like realistically.
realistically,
Where
the
could he go?
Rams could get him. They have a lot of draft capital and they have young players they could send. That would be disgusting.
Where's
That's
Stafford
all
going to go?
Well, he going
Or
to
so you
retire. They're going
retire.
to say thank you for the Super Bowl, Mr. Matthew Stafford this year. Either retire or you're in the trade package going to Cincinnati.
Oh,
And he
that
said,
is
"Fuck
disrespectful.
that."
After all he's done for that franchise.
But like honestly, I think there is like a scenario where like they could talk, like the Jets could talk Joe Burrow into coming to him and be like, we're gonna get O-line because their O-line's actually good. They're gonna be like, listen, we have all these draft picks, we have Garrett Wilson, we have young receivers, like that's not. I don't actually hate that.
Yeah, Jets is an interesting one.
And it's interesting because they have the picks. They have the picks. They have all the picks right now. They could get him realistically. They have a new head coach. They have a very good O-line actually under the radar. All of a sudden, if Joe Burrow's coming, I bet you Breece Hall wants to stick around. They have Garrett Wilson. They have other young receivers, and the defense they traded away key pieces, but it's still like not a horrible defense, I kind of like.
What if he goes to the Colts?
Honestly,
We talked about their quarterback
they can't get him
situation.
though. They don't have any picks. They don't have any picks or assets they could trade.
Tennessee's got a lot of cap space.
We do. But we need a lot more than a quarterback, and he definitely will retire if he goes to Tennessee. 'Cause we can't protect shit. So
To answer your
we
question,
need a quarterback who will run for his life.
To answer your question fully, I think Rams is like the dream pick, but realistically, maybe Jets.
Jets is an interesting one. Rams I've heard of. Jets is one I hadn't thought of, but I do like that the more I do think about it.
I mean, there's a scenario where, like, let's say the first pick of the draft is Fernando Mendoza. You could sell that to the Bengals, send them some young pieces as well. Yeah, it's possible. I think it'd be cool.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right, are you guys ready to be some little content monkeys? Make
Let's go.
Make some clips that I say I'm gonna clip out, and then maybe I'll do it this week. I got sick. That's my excuse.
Happens.
Okay. So this one, I put this clip in just for you, Andy. So you're gonna
All
take
right.
this one away. So I am going to have the boys blind rank Heisman seasons, but they don't know which ones I'm going to tell them. Are y'all ready? So
Okay.
1 through 5, you got to try to make the best list. And mind you, I got this off of Google. I Googled best Heisman seasons. I don't know much about these. So I'm going to give you a list. You're going to try to rank it from 1 to 5. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, first one I'm giving you. Tim Tebow in 2007. 1 through 5.
Ooh.
Probably 1.
1.
Yeah, it was a good season.
Are you comfortable putting him at 1 off for it?
Yeah, let's go for 1.
All right, number 1. All right, second one I'm giving you is Fernando Mendoza just now, 2025.
5.
Interesting. All right, so you got 1 and 5. You got to get the middle ones now. Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay, Cam Newton, 2010.
3.
3. Okay. It's crazy because I don't actually know if he's doing good or not.
Neither do I. So blind leading the blind to it.
Okay. You've got number 4. You got number 2 left.
Okay.
Devontae Smith, 2020.
4.
4. Interesting. Which means your number 2 spot is going to be Caleb Williams in 2022.
I think I'm all right with that.
So just to recap, Tim Tebow 1, Caleb Williams 2, Cam Newton 3, Devontae Smith 4, Fernando Mendoza 5.
I think, maybe swap Cam and Caleb. Maybe. But
I don't know. I think he might have killed that. What you think, Derek?
I like it. I thought he did
I
good.
think you might have got a perfect list.
Anytime you do these though, and you hit the bookends first, it makes it interesting. But I like it. I like the
think
list.
he killed it.
what did
What's the rank?
Google say?
I was gonna say, what was the rankings?
ChatGPT or
Oh,
whoever.
it was like all player, like old ass players I've never heard of.
It didn't
yeah.
actually have it ordered though.
Oh no, it had it ordered, but like a lot of them were like, "Oh, this dude from 1960, number 4." I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" I was like, "Who is that? Get out of here!" All right, you know what, Andy? I think you got me on that one. Good job.
No, I like that. I like that list.
Derek, did you have a segment this week?
I do.
All right, I'll let you take
I
it away.
do. All right.
I'm excited. I always like it when you do segments because I don't know what you're about to pull up.
Yeah, this one's gonna be an interesting one. It's all right. So I got the boys. So we're gonna do a pick 4. Or I'm sorry, a start 4, cut 4. And we're gonna go with first overall picks from 2010 to 2020.
Ooh, I like this. So we get 4. We keep 4, cut 4.
You got to keep 4, cut 4, and the list is obviously I have my opinions, but I'm interested to see who y'all put.
Okay. All right, Andy, we got.
So starting off first,
strap in.
we're going 2012, Indianapolis Colts choose Andrew Luck, and let's go through as a career.
Okay, this is tough because obviously talent-wise, Andrew Luck should be a keep. But if we're going through a career, do you think he's gonna? Oh, that's tough though.
I started you off with this guy for a reason.
When I first started watching football, and I'm like, "Yo, this dude is so good, I'm gonna cry," and then he was gone. Like I only saw like 2 years of him.
I mean,
Hey, here's the thing. I will never feel bad about cutting. I will never feel bad about keeping Andrew Luck, but I'll trust you because he only played for like 7 years?
I don't even think it was that long.
Was it like
I don't think he played that long at all.
when did he retire? Was that? I guess everything's pre and post
when did they get
COVID.
Phillip
So
Rivers?
Well, let's see.
They got Phillip Rivers in like 2020, so I think he retired like right before that.
yeah, didn't he retire like 30 seconds before the season started?
Yeah, and the Colts fans booed him, and that's why you're in purgatory now because you disrespected Andrew Luck.
All right, now I'm gonna show some love to the Colts fans and cut his ass.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you on this. We'll cut him.
All right, cutting Luck. Interesting.
Tough.
Next guy up, I have 2015's first overall pick, Jameis Winston. Talked about my guy a few times today.
We might have cooked ourselves because now we're about to have back-to-back cuts.
You gotta cut him.
Yeah, he gotta go.
All right, we're cutting Luck. So
scared.
far, you're cutting Luck and you're cutting Winston.
We put Andrew Luck on the same list as Jameis Winston, man.
Facts.
Hey, one of them's still playing.
So let's fast forward. Yeah, let's go to another guy that's still playing. So let's fast forward to 2018, first overall pick to the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield.
See, with the way this is going, I feel like we have to keep Baker.
Yeah,
I'm
okay with that.
I'm not disrespecting Luck at all, but Baker has played, I think, just as long and is still going. So I think Baker's an okay keep.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, Baker could still get a Super Bowl, technically.
All right, so we got 2 cuts, 1 keep.
Okay. He's going to give us
Next
a
guy up. I got a pretty good one. I got a couple on here. Let's go 2011. Cam Newton.
It's the same.
Keep.
Yeah, no, don't ever. MVP and Winter Super Bowl keep. None of the other dudes have done this on this list.
You like him? You like Cam Newton?
Yes. I'm keeping him.
Yes.
All right, so far you're keeping Cam, keeping Baker, but y'all put Luck and Winston on the shelf.
It feels weird, but I don't think we're doing terrible yet.
I don't think you're doing too bad either, personally. But we'll find out from here. Next, 2016.
Cut.
Jared Goff.
Cut.
I already knew who it was. Cut. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
I mean, would you rather have Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield? It's a debate. Would you rather have Jared Goff or Cam Newton? It's not a debate. Get his ass out of here. Jared Goff isn't the best quarterback in his class.
All right, so you can only cut one more guy. You have to keep the other 2.
Okay.
Next one up, 2019.
Cut.
Kyler Murray.
Cut. Get him out of here.
Cut.
I will live.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm throwing y'all a bone here. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll live if it means, dude. We put Andrew Luck with Kyler Murray.
Hey,
Yeah, you did. You want to know who you just kept though?
Yeah.
You kept Joe Burrow 2020.
Okay.
He also kept Sam Bradford 2010.
Let's go. Oh man. Listen.
So you kept Baker, you kept Cam, you kept Bradford, and you kept Burrow, and you put back Luck, Winston, Goff, and Kyler
Okay,
Murray.
we only missed one. I think we only missed one.
did we miss one though? I mean,
Luck over
that is
Bradford. Come on.
I mean, come on. That was the most mid list of quarterbacks outside of Joe Burrow, of course.
Nah, I think we missed one. Damn, you did us dirty.
I did do you dirty
That's
on that
fire.
one.
Damn. Nah, we missed one. He got us a little bit. We only missed one though. I think everything else, I think we did okay.
Yeah, I was on par with y'all, except for keeping Bradford. That was the only one I was like,
That's
let me
interesting.
throw him in here.
I
late.
thought you were gonna pull out like Myles Garrett or like a non-quarterback.
Yeah, I considered it, but to keep the sample size similar, I decided to go all
got you.
QBs.
Ah, good work. That's a good one. All right, are you guys ready for what
I live with that.
No,
Let's go.
I'm not gonna sleep well tonight thinking about putting Andrew Luck with Kyler Murray. Jameis Winston, I love you. I'm not even disrespecting you. Who else did we cut?
You cut Golf.
Okay, that's not as bad, but like Kyler Murray, Andrew Luck, dude. I need a shower. Dude, I was just.
Hey, at least we had the most debate on Andrew Luck, though.
I was
That's why I
just.
started.
Everyone
off
else
with
was
Luck.
immediate.
I was just.
That's why I
watching,
started with Luck, because I knew starting with Luck would put doubt the rest of the list for you.
Yeah, just 30.
Especially depending if you did put him on the shelf, which you did.
I was just watching, like, okay, side note, we're going to go on a tangent. It's my show, fuck y'all. T.Y. Hilton is, like, one of my favorite all-time receivers, and I was just watching, like, T.Y. Hilton, Andrew Luck, like, deep bombs, and now I'm sad.
Why is T.Y. Hilton one of your favorite receivers of all time?
Actually, this is hilarious, because he signed with the Cowboys, like the last year of his career, and he played, like, 2 games. But in one of the games, he converted, like, a 3rd and 30 when we were about to lose, and, like, ever since then, he's, like, been my guy. Like, it was like the only thing he did for us the entire time he was there. He had a crazy 3rd and 30 conversion, and then he just, like, retired right after. But it helped us beat the Eagles, so it's my guy. Also, he's just fun to watch. He's so cool.
There were just so many, like, you want to talk about just a bunch of mid quarterbacks, man. Oh, my God.
He's still
Troy Smith, Tim Tebow, Sam Bradford. Yo,
You looking at the list? You
Johnny
looking at the list of
Football,
what it
they were
was?
all Heisman winners, man.
Yeah.
We have mentioned.
Oh, God.
We
Ugh.
somehow mentioned Tim Tebow like 4 times on this podcast.
That's because we're hoping somebody's watching.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
That's going to drive engagement for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna put in parentheses Tim Tebow mention. Hey, if you're watching, if you know who we're talking about, if you're watching, hello. Anyway, so let's keep it rolling. So I prepared something I want to get you guys' takes on. I went ahead and I predicted who I think is going to be in the 2026 Pro Bowl. I'm gonna read you these names, and I'm gonna I want your opinion. See if I did good, see if I did bad. Who I should have put in.
Okay.
I did offense only. If you guys like it, maybe I'll do defense next week. All right. Do you guys want the NFC or the AFC first?
Let's go NFC.
NFC.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, mind you, I like the Pro Bowl. I think it's funny and goofy, but I don't necessarily think if a player gets a Pro Bowl, they're the best at the position. This is just who I think is going to get it. Okay, so NFC, for my quarterbacks, there's 3 of them. I have, in no particular order, it's just how I wrote it. Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Stafford's easy. That's an easy one.
Yeah. I have honorable mentions as well, but only 3 make it, and then one of them goes to the Super Bowl, and then they like let someone else in as like an alternate. But this is who I think is getting the initial voting.
All right.
It was Stafford, Goff, and who was the last one?
Prescott.
Dak.
My honorable mentions are Sam Darnold and Jordan Love. I just think Jordan Love took too long to like heat up, and Sam Darnold is just like you could make the argument. I just think the other guys have a little bit better of a case.
I feel you. Yeah, Darnold was the one that initially I was like, I was surprised not to have on that list, especially with Golf. But Golf's having such a good season too. I mean, Golf's had a really good career in Detroit.
Goff is second in passing touchdowns with 29 right now.
Really?
And y'all put him on the shelf. Y'all kept Bradford over here. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's. Who
I mean, if you give a guy enough receivers, he tends to throw a lot. You know, he should be throwing enough touchdowns.
Yeah, okay. No mistakes so far. You don't think this is egregious?
No, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, now let's get into some discourse because the skill positions in the NFC are stacked this year. So some dudes are not going to make it that probably should. So for our running backs, 3 make it as well. I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Javonte Williams, and Christian McCaffrey.
Oh,
and
I feel like somebody's been left off that list.
I will say, a lot of the time, I feel like personally there is a little bit of bias to new players that haven't made the Pro Bowl before. Like I've noticed that in the past. That's why I have Javonte in there, because I think
there's a glaring miss there.
I mean, I know I'll hit you in my honorable mentions, but like someone has to get cut. So if you tell me who we should get cut, we can go with it. But my honorable mentions are Rico Dowdle and Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, I think, should make it.
Who over?
Yeah.
Because
the bias is a Dallas bias. That's what it is.
Javonte has more touchdowns and more rushing yards and a better average yards per carry. I'm just saying. Like it seems.
Hold on, no. How many rushing yards does Javonte have?
Javonte's at like 1,100. I can get you an exact. Javonte Williams.
Nah, Bijan is number 4 on the rushing list.
Bijan Robinson.
In fact, leader of the NFC.
Oh, he just beat him. He just beat him by like 30 yards. Javonte got more touchdowns. But also, you gotta they start this voting process like they started this a couple weeks ago. So I'm just saying this is who I have. Obviously, Bijan on the outside looking in, but I don't know. We'll see.
His wide receivers CD, George Pickens, and some other NFC wide receiver.
You know what's crazy, dude? The difference in making this made me realize the difference between the NFC and the AFC receivers. Because like if it was just the NFL as a whole, they would all be NFC receivers this year. So for my NFC receivers, only 4 make it per conference. So I have George Pickens, JSN, Puka Nacua, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, but then you look at the dudes that didn't make it, and we have Devontae Adams, who I just thought I would mention him because he has like 20 touchdowns. Drake London, who's having a really good season, and then also honorable mention to CeeDee Lamb because he's missed time. That's why I didn't give him a vote, but he has the most like yards per game this year.
Is that because the Cowboys play a lot of garbage time?
Hey, listen. This is the Pro Bowl. This ain't the Super Bowl. This is our bowl.
We know this ain't the Super Bowl. There's a lot of Cowboys on this list.
All right. Tight
now,
ends.
I honestly, sorry, jokes aside, I think I would bump Devontae. I'm not sure who I would kick out, but Devontae, Pro Bowl wise for this season, absolutely deserves that.
I have a question.
It's nuts.
I have a question actually. Has there ever been like 2 receivers from the same team to get the Pro Bowl?
Ooh.
Because like we're not.
I feel like there has to.
We're not bumping Puka, right? So it's like.
I'm guessing. If I had to guess, it would probably be like what the 99 Rams or whatever, the greatest show on turf.
Yeah, I'm just curious. That's why Devontae's not there because I put Puka because Puka came back and just like wrecked everything. I mean, I guess you could argue it's tough because like I would have said Amon-Ra, but he just had like 2 crazy games.
He's still pretty dominant though. He's had
So
over a.
I don't mind putting Devontae in. I just don't know who we take out.
All right, so yes, actually, so there has been a couple situations where multiplayers in the same position have gone.
Okay, who you got?
Hmm?
Do you got the list? Can you tell us who it is?
Oh yeah, shit, my bad. So way back in the 70s, you had Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris.
Cool.
Wait, that's a running back fullback. Oh yeah, that's the same shit. They had Antonio Brown, and this list is trash. Fuck that shit. Never mind.
All right, and then
typical Google where you type something, it gives you bunk answers that don't make sense.
Let them know. And then for tight ends, you get two from each conference, and I kind of feel like all of the good tight ends are in the AFC, so someone's going to get cut over there. So for the NFC, I had Trey McBride, easy. And then the other one, I just put like Jake Ferguson because like the only other NFC option was like Dallas Goedert. All the good tight ends are in the AFC.
Dallas Goedert, more touchdowns, way more yards.
Yeah, but
actually no. Actually, Ferguson did have more yards.
They're pretty like even. So like that's why like that one's kind of interchangeable. Fergie had a better start, so I don't know how much like that matters. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what like maybe like when the voting started, he was doing better, but now he's kind of cooled off. So we'll see.
Yeah, Trey McBride, head and shoulders up.
Yeah, for
clears
sure.
The rest
but
of
then
the
who's the
FDs.
second? The second one is like you know. But then when we talk about the AFC, you're gonna be like, dang, who are we cutting? Okay. So AFC quarterbacks, I think, is actually a lot like easier to talk about. So I got Drake May, Josh Allen. He just got hurt, but I think he did enough before getting hurt. Patrick Mahomes, and then Justin Herbert. With an honorable mention to Daniel Jones, because I genuinely believe if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have got it over Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And running backs are pretty cut and dry, in my opinion. Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Devon Achane.
No, Derrick Henry.
Nah, I mean he's good, but like
More, he had. I mean, HN had 7 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 10.
But HN has like a crazy receiving stat line this year.
Okay.
So if you're looking at like all-purpose, like HN kind of washes. But I think honorable mention Derrick Henry. Okay, so wide receivers in the AFC are disgusting. Like you're gonna hate this list, and I genuinely don't know who to put instead of these guys. Because 4 have to make it, and I wish we could just run with like Devonta Adams, CeeDee Lamb, and Drake London, and then just keep Nico Collins or Jamar. But we have to put AFC bums in here, so. I have Jamar Chase, Nico Collins. I feel pretty good about, even though Nico missed time. And then I have Jalen Waddle and Zay Flowers, and I really hope you guys can pick someone else for me because I don't know who it would be.
What was that list again?
So Jamar, Nico Collins, I feel really good about, and then Waddle and Zay Flowers.
You know who had a decent season, or who the leading scorer was?
Who's that?
T. Higgins.
Okay, we could take out Zay Flowers and put T. Higgins in. That's fine.
Yeah, Zay Flowers, they didn't do shit this year. Come on.
It's the AFC. They don't got nobody. And then to round it out, tight ends are
Zay Flowers had 2 scores.
Hey, listen.
That was only 2 more than I had.
He's already a Pro Bowler. Okay, I'm just saying. This would be his second. They already let him in. Okay, and then as disgusting as this sounds, I do have Travis Kelce for tight end because they're just going to let him in one more time. And then my second tight end is Tyler Warren, but I think there is a conversation.
I like Tyler Warren.
Yeah, Tyler Warren.
And
I mean,
then
there's
the honorable mention is Hunter Henry, who's had a surprisingly good season, and then Brock Bowers, but I think Brock just missed too much time.
Harold Fannin in Cleveland.
You know, honestly, he's been doing good.
He's had a good season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't have a lot of scores, but you know, he
Yeah,
was kind
but,
of
like, does anyone
mid-pack.
on the Browns have a lot of scores?
That's true.
So we'll circle back to this in a couple weeks when the Pro Bowl gets announced, and we'll see how stupid I look.
I mean, if he got some recency bias, Darren Waller tore him up last weekend.
I don't know. The Pro Bowl is weird. There's always like one or two people. You're like, why? Like, how did that happen?
It was like he was like spamming him like it was Madden or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, see, Tua's short. He can't see much. Darren Waller's tall, so he says,
True.
You got it. You know, maybe Tua said he'd stream his new album if he got targets or something. Hey, if y'all are ever bored, go down the rabbit hole of Darren Waller's music. It's hilarious. Well, that's about all I had planned. Anything you guys...
Maybe Dalton Kincaid.
Yo,
maybe.
I forgot about him, low-key.
He was hurt a little bit this year, but
I got you. I think Warren for sure gets it, and I just think they're gonna let Travis get one more. Unfortunately, because a portion of the voting is fan votes, so you know the.
Oh God. He's gonna.
Yeah, you know that's.
He's gonna have about 100 million more fan votes than the next tight end.
Do you guys remember when Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler?
That's going back.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. That's about all I had planned. Anything you guys want to say to the viewers before we get out of here?
No.
All right.
No. Hey, had fun.
All right, stay tuned. And,
watch the next episode.
If you guys didn't know yet, all of our teams are eliminated. So Crashouts incoming. You guys have full permission to keep crashing out. We will see y'all next time.